Services. Dr. Ritter?
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I like to give my little background. I was at Kent State Trumbull from 1991 to 2000. I left and went to one of those large universities. Came back in 2010 because I realized that
What's up?
we just do it right at Kent State Trumbull. Basically, everyone gets to know their instructors on a first name basis. Everyone gets to know their advisors on a first name basis. Classes are small. You don't get lost in the crowd. And I always say, if you want to graduate from Kent State Trumbull, you will graduate because all the resources are there. We really are, and it sounds like a slogan, but it's the truth. We really are a very, almost like a small private college, but part of one of the largest university systems in the United States. So it has the feel of a small private college without the expense, but with also all the resources of a large university. So welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Ritter. And as a graduate of Kent State Trumbull myself, I can say that is true. I saved money, I went to school close to home, and I got a high quality Kent State education. So thanks for joining us today. I'm guessing you're here to find out about the English program, so we're going to jump right in. If you came with questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. We will be watching for interaction from you. And if you have questions while we are speaking, note that there is a little bit of a delay, but we want to answer your questions. So put those in and we will address them. We're going to start out by asking a few questions to Dr. Noelle Bowles. She is one of our professors in the English program, as well as the coordinator for the program. Dr. Bowles, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your education experience and your experience in the field of English?
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, I have my degree from the University of Miami. And since I'm in Ohio, I feel like I should say it's the Miami with the palm trees and the beaches, because Miami folks get a little bit confused between the two sometimes. I have been teaching since I started graduate school in 1988. Please, no one do the math on that. But I would like to second Dr. Jim Ritter's comments about the Trumbull English program, particularly as kind of very much like a small liberal arts college. One of the things that attracted me to come here when I was interviewing was that I was teaching at the time at Gettysburg College in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is a private liberal arts college. And in a lot of ways, the environment is very much the same. We do a lot of one-on-one work with our students. It's really, again, it sounds cliche, but it really is very much a family once you're here. Did I answer everything? I can't remember.
Yes, I think that's awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Bowles. Can you tell us now some of the classes that you teach at Kent State Trumbull for the English program?
Yes, I teach all of the basic freshman writing courses, and everyone goes, oh, college writing, yay. But I do try and make it fun. And beyond that, I teach, my specialty in my PhD is 19th century British literature, but was looking at medievalism. So I like knights and fantasy and monsters. And I've given a number of presentations in pop culture. I'm offering a monsters in literature and film class this fall. So I'm thinking that's going to be quite a lot of fun. The fairy tale class I offer in the summer. And I teach some of our core courses like great books, and then courses for the major like critical theory and English studies and things like that.
Great, that sounds very interesting, especially the monsters and the fantasy and everything. That's great. All right, can you tell us now kind of what the nitty gritty of the Bachelor of Arts in English is? How would you summarize the program?
Okay, well, it's like any four-year, it is a four-year college degree, so that with the bachelor's. What is, I think, interesting about the English program is about 5 years ago, the department changed the offerings so that you not only major in English, but you can select concentrations. So you might be an English major with a concentration in writing, in linguistics, or in literature. And so that also hopefully broadens the base for students as they branch out from the degree into various professional areas. So a lot of reading still and a lot of writing, but you can do those concentrations that might focus more on what you as a student are interested in.
That's awesome. And do you want to say anything about the minor as well?
The minor, yes. We also have a writing minor, which isn't exclusively English courses, though a lot of them are. And an English minor can also be useful no matter what your degree is, because yes, we become more tech and you think, well, we're moving away from books, but everything still, as you know, out there is written. We're looking at tweets, we're looking at blogs, we're looking at websites, and there's always somebody behind those. So if you've got good written communication skills, no matter what your degree, that is going to really help you as you move into your career path.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we are going to give Dr. Bowles a break, but we're going to come back in a minute and ask her about what kind of jobs you can get with an English degree. We're going to swing over and ask Emily, a recent graduate from the English program at Kent State Trumbull, and she's actually still on the Trumbull campus working in the Learning Center, so we're going to hear about that too. And she's also doing grad school now with Kent State University. So Emily, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us what led you to choose Kent State University at Trumbull?
Thank you for having me. I would when I sat down to close to home, one that was affordable and one that had at the time, it's weird to think of it now, but at the time, a great nursing program, which was my first choice of a major. But Kent State Trumbull was the only college that had all three of my requirements, and it was actually the only school that I applied to.
Oh, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing. Now, can you tell us how you chose English and maybe what your goals are with this degree?
Yes, so as I kind of just blurted it out there, I did start out as a nursing major, and I did not see myself graduating with a BA in English. I can tell you that. Somebody was said, oh yeah, in 2020, you're going to have a BA in English. I'd be like, okay, buddy. All right, cool. But within my first year, I had the dreaded Kent core writing courses, and within that first year, something just kind of changed, something switched, and I was very scared to have the switch because I thought, you know, if I switch from what my goals were of wanting to help people out in the real world, I'd be letting down my family, I'd be letting down myself, I'd be breaking any promises that I had made. But it was actually my professor that I had for college writing 1 and 2 that really saw something different in me. He saw the side of me that I wasn't too excited about or to admit that I had. But yeah, before my sophomore year of college, I ended up switching to the English major, and I fell in love with the art of writing. I truly found what I wanted to do in life, and now as you mentioned, I'm going on to grad school to master in library and information science to become a librarian. So at the end of the day, while I don't have my nursing degree, I do have a degree that I'm able to use to help people just in a different way.
For sure. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as a former student from Kent Trumbull too, I can testify that professors are some of the best part of that, you know, finding your path and, you know, finding what you're good at. Can you tell us now, can you pinpoint any fond memories you have as a student during those 4 years at Kent Trumbull?
It seems like a blur. It's it's hard to imagine that it's been 4 years, but I don't know if I could pinpoint one specific memory. Just I think the whole package, the whole experience that I had at Kent State Trumbull, and being able to meet and work with some of the most amazing people there. The English faculty alone are some of the best people that any students will get to work with, whether it's for 1 or 2 semesters, or for me, all of your undergraduate career. But I've also met, because of Kent State Trumbull, because of the Learning Center, and because of the program, I've met some of my best friends. I can't really pick just one, but I guess my fondest memory would be just the whole experience.
That's awesome. I think that counts as a fond memory, the whole thing. All right, thank you so much, Emily. We have a few more questions we're going to ask her, but I saw a question came in on Facebook Live and I don't want to ignore that. Thank you, Jessica. You're asking, how do you know your concentration? Dr. Bowles or Dr. Ritter, would either one of you like to talk about how you can know what your concentration is in the program?
I'll go ahead and address that if that's okay. You can decide. So as a student, you make the choice which path you think is going to be best for you and the career goals that you have. So as an example, we have right now a couple of students who are very interested in teaching English abroad. So for them, a concentration in linguistics might be the best path if then you're going to go on to teach language. I'll put in a little bit of a plug for Kent graduate program. They have I'm not sure if it's a degree or certificate, shame on me, but we do have a great TESOL program. So teaching English as a second language. So you pick what you want to do. I hope that helps, Jessica. Maybe she can question us back if that's not a good answer.
If I could just add to that, you don't have to decide when you first come in. You can change at any time, and you can be a freshman, sophomore, junior, even a senior, and switch over, although we don't recommend that, but you can do that as well.
Thank you both. Thanks for clarifying, and I'm sure that was helpful. Jessica, if you have other questions, this is a great chance for you to get those answered. So just go ahead and put those in the comments and we'll get to them. Also, I'm just going to put in a plug for academic advisors and for our website and for our professors. All three of those are great resources for you to explore options and think things through, work things through, change your mind a couple times. There are lots and lots of options. So thank you for that. Emily, we're going to ask you a few more questions. Since you work for the Learning Center, and I think you have for a little while now, can you tell us what specifically the Learning Center can do to help a student who's either majoring in English, minoring in writing, or is just taking a college writing class?
Yes, it'll be actually 2 years in January, which again feels like a blur. It does not seem like I've been there for almost 2 years, but honestly, I would say that the Learning English majors, minors, or just we've had many writing tutors that are business majors or even nursing majors. So I think it really gives us the opportunity to show our knowledge that we're learning throughout the program, and it also gives us our own opportunity to strengthen our own writing skills. It's like student teaching in a way, but for writing. So you're able to really direct students in the right direction for making their paper stronger. And oftentimes, just from the professors I've had since starting, they've said, hey, your writing is really improved. And you get reminded of those little things that you often forget when you sit down to write a paper. So when a student comes in, they're like, oh, well, I have this professor. Most of the writing tutors there, me especially, and we have another one, we've had almost all of the full-time faculty and some of the part-time faculty at Kent State Trumbull. So we're able to, I guess, decode their thoughts on your paper that you might think are a little confusing or might take the wrong way. So we're really able to direct these students to making their paper stronger and maybe even make the next paper easier to write.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. Do you want to say anything else about a typical tutoring session, what a student can expect when they go into the Learning Center for help with a paper?
Sure. Well, on normal circumstances, when you would come in, you would log in at the computer and you would just kind of set up whether you had your paper up on your own computer or we have computers there where you can set up. And we really just want to focus on one or two major things that you're having a problem with. We don't want to get through like the little tiny bits, like, so if you're just coming in for grammar, that's what we're going to focus on. But if there's a major issue, like your thesis statement isn't quite there, your introduction is a little off, we're going to focus on those. And it really benefits that we can help students in real time, because then we can kind of get their thoughts on certain things and help them get to where they want to go. But, you know, with the pandemic and everything now, we do have that online option that is just as beneficial, and it helps them a lot. And it's not face to face, but we're still able to help them in the same way. And you can submit papers through the online writing lab as many times as you want. And we're not going to stop you or limit you. We're going to help you as best we can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. One last question, and this is a big one. What advice would you give for a student who's considering the English program or who's actually committed to starting the English program this fall?
Well, as someone who kind of got into it, I wouldn't say late in their academic career, but somebody who really embraced the new me that I was becoming, I would say don't get lost in the misconception that if you have a BA or an associate's degree or something in English, that teaching is your own. Hopefully, if everything works out, I'm going to become an academic librarian. So that's one thing that's obviously not teaching, but you're still able to communicate with people. What they don't, I think, realize that the skills that you acquire through the program and while earning your degree are things like time organization and public speaking. So, and I would just say have fun with it, because I truly enjoyed the entire experience. Yeah, they were long nights and even longer days with trying to get a paper out, get it by the deadline. And I'm not going to say it's going to be like all the ups, you're going to have downs, but just have fun with it, because if you're in college to get a degree, you as well be in a program or going towards a degree that you're consistently passionate about. And while I did not have that when I first joined, I certainly had that at the end. So that would be the final thing. Just have fun with it. If you're going to spend your money and really improve your education, you might as well have fun while doing it.
Thank you so much, Emily. We appreciate your time. And maybe if you're watching right now on Facebook and you're choosing the English program, maybe Emily will be one of your writing tutors in the near future. So thank you, Emily. We're going to go back over to Dr. Bowles. She is joining us today as a professor from the English program. Dr. Bowles, can you tell us a little bit about what kind of jobs a student can get with a degree in English?
Well, clearly not a dog trainer, because mine is barking in the background there. I hope he's not too much of an interruption. Well, Emily mentioned you don't have to think of English as just being a degree for teaching. So that said, there are students who go on to teach both at high school and some lower levels, students that I know that have graduated doing that. We've had 4 or 5 students, probably more than that, go on to graduate school. Some of them stopping at the master's degree. There are 2 from the Kent Trumbull campus that I know right now that are working in the PhD program at Kent. So they would go on then to be hopefully college professors at some point. But I've already mentioned the TESOL and teaching foreign language. But we also have people who have graduated who do grant writing and contact tract writing. That can be really a good job and well paid. We've had students go into advertising and internal corporate marketing. So again, those communication skills, they wound up a little more on the advertising side of things, but well employed there. One of our Trumbull graduate students is a project management coordinator for a healthcare system in Boston. So the opportunities really are there. But as an English major, we always encourage our students to be thinking about where they see themselves, what kind of an environment they want to work in. And it isn't always, again, in front of the classroom. Real estate agents. I'm just thinking of students that I know what they've gone on to do. And so the range is pretty broad. I didn't pull up the statistics, but I have looked at studies that indicate that majors in the liberal arts are some of the most desirable graduates because they have a broad range of training. They're good at critical thinking and they're good at communication. And those are absolutely the marketable skills these days.
Thank you for articulating that for us. It sounds like a very versatile option for many unlimited jobs. Now, one more question for you. Would you, if you were having a conversation with a student and they were not sure if they should go into the English program, who would you specifically recommend this program for?
Oh, okay. So this is a student who's not sure, and so I'm supposed to seduce them to the dark side. Is that what you're telling me?
Sure.
Well, we have cookies. So, you know, that's always good. I think to some degree, what Emily said earlier is true, that if you've got a passion and an interest in the humanities, particularly literature and film, and you want to be flexible in your thinking, how can you look at the same object from 4 or 5 or 6 different ways? How do we construct value? I mean, these are the kinds of questions that we deal with. We deal with issues of gender and power, history, culture. So it's pretty wide-ranging that way. To seduce them over, I don't know. I don't want to make a sales pitch because either you love it or you see the career potentials for you, or maybe something else is your passion. So I'm not, I don't know. That sounds like a weak come join us. That's not it. I love our English majors. We have such great students, and some of them have gone on to be my best friends. Literally, I know that sounds a little weird, but when I started 19 years ago, there was this kid in my college writing class, David Nickel. He's now getting his PhD up at Kent, and I've known him for like 20 years now. So, yeah, we're here, we do good work. It'll be interesting for you. But I don't know that there's you know, besides the fact that I make great chocolate chip cookies, I think I'll stop there.
Thank you. I mean, you've somewhat seduced me, not only with the cookies, but it just sounds like a really great way to expand your knowledge. I know there's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of critical thinking, and that's just such a valuable thing to take into your future, into whatever job, into whatever, you know, relationships, career, anything. So
I'll put in a last little plug, I suppose. So I'm teaching, just wrapping up a college writing 1 course this summer, like yesterday was the last day. So now I've just got stacks of grading, but I had the theme of critical thinking in the time of COVID. And so we looked at, I mean, it was a writing course. So we did a lot of writing and thesis statements and all the good general writing stuff. But what was really interesting for me as we went through the assigned readings and materials is how many students didn't even understand really what we're dealing with as part of this pandemic and how to think critically even about that. So it was really, really rewarding to watch them have these sort of aha moments as they came to understand how all these various little bits that they're hearing in the news and wherever actually connect and impact their own lives.
thank you for that. Thank you, Dr. Bowles. I put a link in the comments for the viewers, and that actually is a link to 2 different pages we have for our English program. Dr. Bowles' email address is on that, so I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but if you have further questions, please reach out to her. That's one of the perks of Kent State Trumbull, is that small feel, that chance that you'll get to interact frequently with your faculty, and it's just it enhances that learning experience so much. So thank you, Emily. Thank you, Dr. Ritter. Thank you, Dr. Bowles. We appreciate you all being on today. Thank you, viewers. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you're watching it after the fact, thank you. And go to our website and reach out to us with questions. We're happy to help. We are still taking applications for fall semester. Today is July 30th. The applications are actually open until August 15th. So if you have questions or you're interested, please move on that sooner than later. There still is time. And our spring applications are open as well. That semester starts in January. If you just want to find out more, or you're already admitted as a student and you want to do a campus tour, we're doing virtual tours twice a week. They're held on Zoom. They're with current students and they are one-on-one. So that's a really great opportunity for you to find out more. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you all have a great rest of your day.